What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you with another dev vlog update for the game of Ye Olde Crossy Outie, and it looks as though there's going to be a new cabin. There's a bunch of random parts here, and these, of course, are structural parts. I'm always all for structural parts. It looks like these are going to be extensions of the Nomads, and yeah, I mean, personally, I've never really liked the way that the Nomads have looked because their gear is always, I don't know, it's just awkwardly bland. But regardless of its awkwardly bland looks, new parts are new parts. Gives us some advantages. I think this looks like a 4x1. They really need to come up with more 3x's, but whatever. That's just, me. Because you always end up in that weird scenario where you're like, man, a 3x3 would be great here, and I don't want to use a damn van window, but you end up using the van window regardless. But the real upcoming treat is going to be this new cabin. It looks as though this cabin is going to have some very interesting abilities. It might be legendary, it might be epic, but it certainly is going to be a lighter and medium. This doesn't look like it's going to be a heavy cabin at all. Looks as though that the abilities that it's going to have is it comes in with a built-in radar. Now, if this is a Doppler, that's gonna be amazing. If it's not a Doppler, then that's still going to be okay. Because again, right now, the standard radar that exists in the game, they're called detectors. These standard detectors, they don't take any energy. You can only have one of them on your build, and they're only okay, right? That's like the R2 Keen and the Ruby and things like that. I do recommend that whenever you make a build, you should always have a radar on your build, a radar and a radio, just so you can retransmit the data that you receive from your radar to your allies so that your allies can see little red blips on their screen. But in reality, the best radar is, I think, my favorite component in the game, which is, of course, the Doppler with its insane durability and its, well, her ability to see through walls. Funny story, this thing also has the ability to see through walls. So it's saying that when they got in the car, the display lit up and the external camera, blah, 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 and it shows cars that are very clearly highlighted in red, even those that were not in direct line of sight. So this leads me to believe that this is going to be similar to a Doppler, but in first-person mode. For example, when you're aiming down the sights, you might be able to see fools through walls, like wall hacks, straight up, like Widowmaker from Overwatch shit. That could be pretty good. I mean, if you're looking for a Scorp cabin, or if you're Strayus cabin, and I know this is going to be a long shot, but an assembler cabin, or maybe any of the crossbows, this might be the cabin for you. I mean, this cabin sounds like if you're going to be able to, see people through walls while you're aiming down sights, or, cockpit view, or whatever you want to call it, that's really good. I mean, the overall idea is that there's a lot of weapons in this game that have projectile travel time, and guessing when someone's going to peek around the corner based on a radar blip, assuming you have a Doppler, can be difficult. This is going to make that easier. So yeah, I'm excited for that a little bit, though this could be, I don't know. So there's a lot of cabins. That's the only problem. This has to compete with things like the Beholder and the Beholder. So when you're dealing with, it's like being able to see someone through walls while aiming down sights versus being invisible and being able to maintain invisibility even when taking damage. That's tough. That's a tough toss-up. But yeah, it's another new cabin. It's not a damaged cabin like the Catalina. It's not a damaged cabin like the Howl or anything like that. So, I mean, honestly, I think that more utility is good. I just think that it's going to be interesting going forward with Gaijin because they keep releasing cabins that end up having module abilities, right? So the Nova was like, the Nova and the Beholder were kind of like the first two that did that, where it's emulating a 1 energy or 2 energy, or at the time of the Nova's release, 3 energy module. And it's just built in, right? It's kind of interesting doing that because it makes the modules less special, but also you can combine them with the other modules for various effects. So I'm not necessarily against it. Eventually, they're probably going to make a cabin that has the daze effect built in or something. I don't know. So I just hope that the devs don't run out of ideas in creating new modules and or new cabins in the future. I think that I don't know what I would prefer in a cabin. I like the transforming cabins the most, only because of the fact that it changes the actual functionality of, what the cabin does, like the Omni or the Omnibox, or is it just the Omnibox with transforming ability? I think that's the only one that you can really change its function. They need to add more of those. They just need more of those. It's like it does one thing, you push a button, it does something else entirely, instead of just copying module abilities. But whatever, creativity be damned. It's all right. I look forward to it. Medium light cabin to cross out. Comments, likes, subscribes below, comments, yada yada. This is the fastest video I've ever made. Peace.